Kubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. I am Tata Punch. Price starting at 5.80 lakhs. Ringkat bat ka net foodish. Ordar mapi nginwan ra amangi hakir dob yeng jongpi.
Menteri rang ba ka jelau Conrad kongkal Sangma ha ka sngi tho dieng ka pratrik nai tung arajar arpuar ula pli pat ba ka Ophis trikam batmai jong ka Directorate of Educational Research and Training Annexed kabadan ha Malki Shillong ha ka jing pli agri Ophis trikam batmai la sakilang do menteri katnat puli puthi ka sarkar jelau ba lakmen ramboi ka MLA jong ka East Shillong constituency ka Dr. Amprin Lingdo u additional chief secretary ka sarkar jelau ba Donald P Walang Director jong Directorate of Educational Research and Training Pak John P Lakyang bat kiwi-kiwi.
The data that I have with me is that this building was sanctioned at a rate of 8.33 crores. It was started on the 17th of January 2018 and got completed and handed over on the 30th of September 2020. So it took about 2 years. Two and a half years. But we have to understand that during this period we had to go through a very critical period where COVID was there. But in spite of all that, we completed and handed over this, PWD in fact completed and handed over this building in September 2020. And we had utilized it, as I said, for some other purpose before. Now, we face a lot of challenges. We should be, I should mention here that we are grateful to the local MLA, to the local authorities here in Malki, the boss now, especially because we face a number of issues, a number of problems. And also the PWD, they have done a very good job in the sense that there were so many activities, constructional activities that we had to undertake, which are not there in the scope of work, but somehow they managed. Like for example, the retaining wall. A huge retaining wall had to be built, that was done, and also on both sides, both on the river side as well as on the hillside. So a lot of challenges, but we were all overcome, and within 2.5 years, the building got completed. A lot of support came right from the top. Chief Minister had himself monitored this and supervised this building and program of construction over this period of 2.5 years. Honorable Minister had done so a number of times also, and also the project management unit, that is from Finance Department, Planning Department, also were very involved.
It is indeed a big privilege for our constituency to be able to host such a huge institution that is going to spearhead the national education policy in the state of Meghalaya. It is going to be requiring the meeting of all experts. It is going to require the consultative programs in a very pleasant location. So as an MLA of this constituency, I'm happy that we are able to share with you this very important day.
I'm very glad that in the last many years, DRT has played a very important role in shaping the education system in the state so that the student of the state will be competitive with the student of the other state. Now we are ventured to the new era where the new education policy 2020 is being launched, and also the state education policy which we have adopted in the state and also implemented most of its program. But due to the coming of this new education policy, we have to see how the best of both of this policy could be given to the youth of the state, to the student of community of the state, so that they will become the best. The learning process disrupt the classroom, disrupt the education system. But it's also open a new opportunity to all of us, be the policymaker, be the educationist and also the partner. Because we realize that one small intervention can make huge difference. Who ever thought that the mobile which we are communicating will become a classroom for us? Who ever thought that I can study anywhere and everywhere? That's why these 2 years I look at it as an opportunity for us, the education department, how we could move ahead. We find that in these 2 years so many constraints in the department. We find that we are lacking in many things, be in infrastructure, be in connectivity, and be in digital dissemination of lesson to the school children. It is encouraged of open school learning. I hope DRT, MBOS, DCEL, and DHTE will conceptualize so that at least we in the state of Meghalaya could start one platform for open school learning. The government of Meghalaya, through our Honorable Chief Minister, will help, and we will try to help in spite of the constraint. But with the help, it should be productive. So I hope that this building will be productive for the welfare of our youth of today and tomorrow. And super last is that the river is just down there. I don't want that this building will become the source of pollution to that little stream there. I don't want that all the garbage from this, instead of throwing into the municipal waste stream, just throw it to that small stream. Manage that stream, it will give life to us all. Thank you very much.
In regards to different countries, I don't want to look at the states, but I'll just want to mention a comparison of countries. So New Zealand is a country that has a population of about 46 lakhs, and it has a GDP of $226 billion. And Meghalaya is a state with a population of roughly 36 lakhs, about 10 lakhs lesser than New Zealand. And we have a GDSDP of 4.79 billion. Now, I'm not here to compare another nation with us, but the point that I want to drive here is that we need to ensure that being a state with a lesser population compared to the rest of the other states in the country, the only way our state will move forward is to ensure that every individual is more productive than he or she is under normal circumstances. So we need to ensure that whatever we are able to do as individuals today, whatever our youth will be able to do in the coming days, we need to ensure that we are able to shape them and mold them in the best manner, so that the productivity and their contribution towards the economic growth of the state goes multifold. And this is coming from a very simple thought process which I have always been advocating. That we have to have a mission and we have to have a goal and a target with which we move forward. And my goal and the goal that I have set for the government is that we need to be among the top states in the country in the next 10 years. And I've been very specific that it has to be in the per capita GSDP and in the Sustainable Development Goals. In both aspects, we are almost at the bottom. But what I have strongly felt is that if there is a systematic way that we move forward, we have a scientific approach to the entire process. If we realize the factors that affect these different aspects of increasing our GSDP, reducing the overall fertility rate, increasing our different rankings in the SDGs, we will be able to move forward. Now, why I'm telling you all this is not to give you a big and a long lecture on the overall growth trajectory or the target or how our state should move forward. But I would like to give you the big picture. That's the reason why I'm giving you this. And the reason I am telling you and bringing you into the entire mindset of how our government is working is to let you know that every step or everything that we do adds to this target and this goal of moving forward. And we have realized that education is a very, very important part of this entire agenda to make productivity very important, so that every youth, every citizen that is there should be able to do much more and contribute much more than what he or she is doing today. And I can explain this also into you with very simple terms. We realize that education is important. We gave education the priority. I don't want to go into details of that because we speak about it a lot. The kind of infrastructure that we're creating, the kind of support in terms of training we're giving, the aspect of ensuring that rural areas also we push in and we ensure that we are able to bring in different kind of changes at the grassroots level, the kind of investments that we're making in infrastructure at the grassroots level which has never been done before. But while we do that, we also realize that we need different policies like early childhood development. And a lot of people don't realize that a child's mind and brain grows maximum to the age of 7 or 8 years old. So physical, emotional, and mental growth of a child takes place in these early ages. Hence we as a government realized that we need an early child development program. And we started it. We are one of the few states in the country, most probably the first one, to have a large-scale program amounting to almost 300 crores, which we'll be spending through an externally aided project on early childhood development. We also realize that once the child goes beyond the age of 8, 9, 10, and adolescence comes in, a lot of our girl child, a lot of the boys also, they go through a massive change in their physical body as well as mentally. They are opening up to so many challenges. Hence we need to ensure that we start guiding the children with an adolescence program during that entire phase where they are most probably facing the biggest challenge and we are not able to relate to it. And we just think that it's part of growing up, but we're not realizing that that's the time when they go through a lot of emotional stress. And hence, we need to have programs for that. I think they are important steps towards achieving the larger goal, and which is to take our state forward and make sure that our state is in the top 10 states in the coming 10 years. And hence, what we are doing today is a major step towards that goal. The quality in education, we have large number of teachers who are teaching everywhere. You know it. I don't have to give you details. And suddenly we realize that we have the numbers, but the quality is missing. So hence I always say this is the second thing which I always keep mentioning. We don't need to do different things, we need to do it differently. I know you're tired of me saying this to you, but it's true. That we need to realize that the 50,000 teachers, the 14,000 in different categories, another 12,000 in SSA, another 11,000 in ad hoc, they may be private schools, they may be semi-government schools in terms of government aid being given to them. They may be deficit schools, but nonetheless they are ultimately teaching students and they are producing and molding and shaping our youngsters. So we need to ensure that all these teachers who are there become 10, 15, 20% better than what they were. Even a 1% improvement is a goal that's achieved. So coming to the smaller aspect, or the narrowing down the big picture and coming down to what we are and where we are today, you have to realize what this institution is going to do for the future of not just education, for the future of our state. And that's really the point that I'm trying to drive through to you. That you may think that you are here to be part of this Directorate of Education, Research and Training, and that you're going to be training teachers. You are not just training teachers. You're going to be shaping and directing the future of the state and its youngsters towards the goal that we all are trying to work towards. You are part of the process. You are part of this larger goal that we all are part of. And everything you do out here affects every younger student that is there. And that is what's going to shape us, and that's what's going to make Meghalaya proud. That's what's going to make Meghalaya be in the top 10 states in the coming 10 years. And therefore, I'm very grateful and thankful to all the officials who have been part of this program and this entire effort. I was listening to Mr. D.P. Wala mentioning about the ADB that has given us the funds to make this. I also want to take this opportunity to clarify to a large number of you. A lot of people talk about these externally aided projects and say, why is government taking so much of loan from different international banks? But let me inform you that the externally aided projects is one of the best funding patterns that the state can get. Because externally aided projects like this ADB, it could be a loan for the government of India, but then 90%, almost 80% to 90% of it is a grant that is given to state governments like ours. So we end up only paying about 10% to 15% from project to project basis in terms of the amount that we invest in it. Rest of the 80%, 85% is a grant which is given to us for free, and the government of India then pays back that loan to the international bank. So ADB gave us this money. It's not a loan to the government of Meghalaya. It is a loan to government of India, but it's a grant to us. So similarly, like this, there are multiple externally aided projects that come in grant mode to us, where 80 to 90% of it is funded and given it as grant in aid to us. And hence, it is one of the best patterns of funding, and I must take this opportunity to thank the ADB for having given us this project, and I'm happy to inform you that we are working very hard for the second phase of this project, and we are getting a very positive response for it, and I'm hopeful that once that happens, we should be able to do much more in the field of education with that intervention. You know that there are teachers' issues, we understand there are issues when it comes to quality, we understand there are multiple factors in students, the quality of the education, the quality of the buildings, the infrastructure, the kind of monitoring that needs to be done of different schools, whether it's been happening or not. And all these factors that are there, sometimes it's not possible for government of Meghalaya to really go into details of all these aspects. And hence the government has been contemplating, the education minister has discussed with me a number of times that it is about time that we put up an education commission. And this education commission should look into different aspects and challenges that the education sector faces. And I have given a green signal to go ahead with this concept, and the education minister has been working on it along with the ACS education, that we need these kind of reforms. Today we are one of the few states in the country that has a farmers commission that allows the farmers to interact with the government through this commission and take up many issues and concerns. And I'm happy to inform you that because of this intervention of this commission, large differences in terms of policy matters, in terms of different schemes has taken place in the agriculture sector, and this commission has really improved the overall implementation of programs and ultimately the impact at the grassroots level for the farmers. So I feel that Education Commission can do the same, and it's something that we are very positively considering it. We are waiting for the Education Minister and the department to give us details, but I'm sure that this step would be a very positive step towards handling and improving the overall education scenario in the state, and be able to take up a lot of concerns that are there in the education sector.
No, sir, I'll leave it there. Will you little? Will you rock it? Will you move to the other side? Most of these things are actually short.